Hello, everyone. What day is it? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, March the 4th. Haven't recorded a demo video in a little bit, so I thought I would jump in today since I'm feeling energetic and show you some of the systems that we use to automate or tie certain systems together. So this is something we've started getting asked a lot is, how do you accomplish everything you need to in a day when you have so many systems to operate your business? So we want to show you guys a little thing we use called Zapier. Many of you probably use this already, but there's probably also just as many of you who haven't heard of this. So I want to show you Zapier. Essentially, Zapier is like a little piece of technology that can make two systems talk to each other. So you set up these little things called zaps, and the zaps are what tie the systems together. So if you go to Zapier, zapier.com, you can kind of see, how it operates. So integrate, link your web apps with a few clicks, automate, pass info, and innovate, build processes. We use Zapier for all sorts of things. So I'm actually going to log into our account and show you some of these zaps that we have. So essentially, if I have two systems and I'm doing kind of like manual data entry between two things, I figure out, okay, is there a way to make these these things talk to each other without doing that manual work? So this is exactly how we do that. So I'm going to, I think we're on our zaps. Here we go. So these are all zaps we've created. So for example, we use MailChimp, and we could not figure out a way in MailChimp to have, if we had a subscriber that signed up for a lead magnet, so let's say our content planning sheet that people download, we want them to download that and go in that list, but then we also want that contact to get pushed to our master list so that they can get our Monday morning marketing update emails. Apparently, there is no way in MailChimp to do that natively, but we were able to use Zapier to connect those two things together. So here's another, I'll create a Zap so you can actually see how this works as well. But here's another one. For example, we use Quickbooks to send our invoicing out so people can pay online and all the accounting is, taken care of in that system. But we also have an operations spreadsheet that has a tab for receivables, and we use that to really quickly glance and look and see kind of what's going on, what's paid, what's not paid. Yes, we can see that within QuickBooks, but it's just a different view. And so when I get a payment, for example, let's say it's an e-transfer, QuickBooks doesn't know that e-transfer happened. So we jump into our Google Sheet and we just mark it off as paid. And then once a month, when we go through and actually match up all those payments in QuickBooks, we have that reference. Now, the challenge was we were manually, it seemed silly, right? This QuickBooks invoice is going out, and then we had to log in and add that invoice as a line item to Google Sheets. But with Zapier, we connected those systems. So now anytime an invoice goes out from QuickBooks, it talks to that specific Google Sheet and it adds all of the information in there. So if we click into this Zap, you can see that. So basically, here's the two steps. So when a new invoice happens in QuickBooks, create spreadsheet row in Google Sheets. And then you can specify all of these different options to go in each one. Here's all the MailChimp zaps. PayPal doesn't instantly convert to MailChimp subscribers, so that's another zap. So if someone buys our course, as soon as there's a successful payment in PayPal, it pushes the email address they use into MailChimp. That's another one we use. This one is like the biggest time saver for us. We have an email address associated with Zapier that we can just hit forward and it shows up in our Trello account, which is what we're looking at here. So any of our to-dos, things that people have asked us to do, if I just forward the email, it goes in like this. I don't have to manually create this card. So those are all our to-dos, and we can, is it in progress? Is it for me to review? Does it have to be invoiced, etc.? Now let's see. I don't know what Zap we need, but for all intents and purposes, let's pick a system we would want to tie together. Let's say we're trying to find, I don't know, Facebook message. A new message to our page is the trigger. Might prompt us to sign in. Maybe we want to get this as an email. Maybe that'll be an option. Let's find out. Or something else. Or push them to a subscriber. Let's see. Let's continue. And I don't want to connect all of these accounts. I only want this page. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. It walks you through these things here. So continue. Okay, so basically we want when a message is sent to empty desk, it's going to find, okay, and then it's saying what do we want to connect it to? So let's say maybe we want to go into our Trello and create, let's see, how about create a card, which is one of these things. So let's say I want the team to be able to respond to these messages, so they're not going to log into Facebook as me, but they log into Trello. So I want, when I receive a message, I want it to pop up over here in Trello where they will see it. Let's see if we can make this work. So here's our Trello account because we've already connected it. Continue. We can decide which board. So these are all of our boards in there. Let's say we want it to go into team tasks. And we want it to grab, these are the fields it can grab from the message. So we want it to grab their name for the name. For the description, we want it to obviously pull in the message text. Can give it a label if we want, a color. I don't know, let's say maybe we want it to show up as blue so it differentiates. And we want the card to pop up at the top. The due date, we want it to pop up as the current, like the due date to be set as the date the message comes in. So anyways, we can do all of these things. Let's see if it's gonna let us. I don't think we need any attachments, so that's fine. And it wants us to just choose this list. Okay, now we should be able to hit continue and then run a test and see what happens. So it says that it has, let's say, test and review. So now let's go over here and see if something popped up here. See this guy in blue? Perfect. So this is showing us it's Zappler. This is pretend this is the person's name. So now I know if someone sends a Facebook message in to our business page, it's going to pop up over here in Zapier. It's kind of like a little notification when the team can respond to it accordingly. Hit done editing, turn it on, and then it shows up in your Zap dashboard. So look at that. How cool is that? I actually don't want this, so I'm gonna delete this guy. That was for demo purposes. But you can search all kinds of systems that you use. So when you go to your Make a Zap, you know, these are showing you common ones, but you can search anything you want. Maybe you want to figure out how, you know, you use WordPress for your website and you want to do something when there's a new comment and you want to connect it to something else. So this is just a really awesome tool to use if you want to connect systems, automate some of your processes and your workflows. There are people that specialize, we are not one of them, although we can help you troubleshoot, but there are people that specialize in like optimizing your workflow using Zapier. So if you need any contacts, let us know. Otherwise, we're always here to help you. And hopefully this is useful for you today. Let us know. What did you create? What did you automate? We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.